Hi, I'm Nikki Duffin and I'm the Change Manager for the Multi-Factor Authentication Project, which we call MFA for short. You've joined me today for a demonstration to get you up and running with MFA. So I'll be doing a few things. I'll be taking you through a quick project background. We'll have a look at the web page and all the resources we've got available, including videos and guides. We'll also have a look at some frequently asked questions that you might have. But most importantly, I'll be showing you how to install MFA on your devices and also how to use MFA.
A bit of project background for you. In 2019, multi-factor authentication was deployed to all of our corporate services staff and contractors. That was 1,700 plus employees, and which went out successfully. From June this year, we'll be continue deploying MFA for all Griffith staff. What is multi-factor authentication? You by adding a layer of security in addition to your normal Griffith single sign-on login, where you normally use your username and password. The authentication can be a PIN number, a swipe, or a fingerprint for most devices. So depending on your device, you can choose what authentication you'd like. MFA basically ensures that you are who you say you are when you log into Griffith applications and systems. What happens on Go Live Day? Today may very well be your Go Live Day. So at around 10 o'clock, MFA will be enabled. The next time you log into a single sign-on application, you'll be prompted to use MFA. So what you need to do is watch this demo, refer to the guides for your devices, which is on the web page and the videos, then install MFA on your devices. If you've got any issues at all, please contact the IT Service Centre. There are a couple of recommendations for installing MFA. The first one is to use the device you take with you everywhere you go, which is usually your mobile phone as your primary device. The second recommendation is that to register a secondary device with MFA in case you ever forget your primary device. So you may have your mobile set up as your primary device and your laptop at home as your secondary device. What we're going to look at now is the Multi-Factor Authentication webpage. It's found under Staff Computing. So we'll have a quick look through there so you can see the resources available to you. At the top, there's a short project background. And under that, we've got some links to the sections on the page, and they include how to set up and use MFA, applications using MFA, a timeline, details around the YubiKey, project board members, and support. We'll come back to the YubiKey later so that you understand what that is as well. In regard to the proposed timeline, this is for all the Griffith staff. You may have already been communicated with by the project team. This gives you a rough idea when everyone's going online, but you will definitely hear from us prior to that happening. The most important section for this page for you is the how to set up and use MFA. There's 4 different sections here. Nice and easy. The top is your mobile devices. So you've got your Android and iOS, and underneath that you've got your Windows and Mac devices. So this is where you get instructions, both guides and videos for how to set up the MFA on your primary device and how to set up MFA on your secondary device, and also how to use it to authenticate. So for instance, if you needed to set up MFA on your Android mobile, the first section you go to would be here, top left for the Android. Click on how to set up MFA on your primary device if you'd like to read through the guide, or alternatively, you can watch a video on it. The next step once you've done that would be to set it up on a secondary device. So if, for instance, you wanted to make your secondary device your Windows laptop, you go to the Windows section and select the details there, which is how to set up MFA on your additional device. And again, there's a video for that. And for all of these, there's also a video on how to authenticate or how to log on using MFA. Underneath that, we've got details for the YubiKey. This is where you apply a request for YubiKey if you meet the criteria. Underneath there, you've got MFA enabled applications. So that takes you to a link in SharePoint, which provides the details of the applications currently under MFA, and that's only open for staff to view. We've got the project board members. Under that, we've got FAQs. And if that doesn't answer your questions, you can also go to the Contact Us section underneath there. It's got general inquiries. That's our project mailbox that you can contact us on, and we'll respond to any queries from there. Or alternatively, you can contact our IT Service Centre who'll be able to help you out. Follow these steps on your computer to set up your iOS device, such as an iPhone. The first thing you'll need to do is log out of any open browsers and then go to griffith.edu.au/intranet to log back in. Once in, you'll need to sign in with your S number and password. When the next screen appears, which is prompting you to install MFA, you need to select I have already installed the Ping ID app, and a QR code will appear on your computer screen. What you need to do next is go to your phone to install Ping ID. Go to the App Store and search for the Ping ID, and when you see it, click Install. Once it's installed, open it. Click Allow for your prompts as they come up. Once the camera appears, hold it up to your computer screen so that the QR code is captured. You don't need to press anything. You'll be prompted to give your device a name, which is your iPhone. Call it any nickname or iPhone. Then you'll be asked to authenticate by either swiping or using your fingertip ID. And now your iPhone or iOS device is ready to use. The next thing we're going to do is set up an additional device, in this case Windows with MFA. The first thing you need to do is log out of any open browsers and then log into a new browser. To do that, go to griffith.edu.au/intranet. You'll be asked to use your single sign-on username and password. Enter that, and when the next screen appears, click Settings from the bottom. The My Devices window opens next, and it shows the devices you currently have paired with your Ping ID account. In this case, you can see there's a Samsung already connected, and the authentication type beside that says mobile. What you're going to do is click Add so that you can add your desktop. It will come up with the prompt that authentication is required, and you click Continue. Because this has already been authenticated with the primary device is a phone, you'll need to authenticate with your phone. The next screen, you'll see that you've got an option there to click Desktop. So that's where you're going to go to start the process. So you click Desktop and the pairing key will appear. To copy this pairing key, there's two ways you can do it. You can either highlight it and press Ctrl+C, or highlight it and right click with your mouse and select Copy. For the next step, you'll need to use your Ping ID application. So to find it, you open it from your list of applications by clicking on your Windows icon in the bottom right hand corner of your screen and typing Ping ID in the search field, and when it appears in the list, you click it to open. You then need to paste in that pairing key we had earlier. So to do that, you go in there and click right click and then paste, and then click Pair. Your additional device is now added and ready to use. You'll also receive a confirmation email via your Griffith email address. We're going to have a look at how to log in using MFA on a mobile device, in this case an iOS device or iPhone. So you follow these steps each time you're prompted for authentication. So first off, you sign in with your S number and password when you're prompted. So this is just an example of logging into intranet and being prompted. When you log in, you'll receive a notification on your phone alerting you that you have a new authentication request. That's because my phone's my primary device. So I'll show you how it appears on your phone. You then authenticate. That's identifying that you've got a request. So you'll either swipe up, if that's how you've set up to authenticate, or alternatively you can use your fingertip. You've now authenticated a browsing session that's going to last for the next 12 hours for any applications you access from your browser, and that's it. We're going to look at how to log in using MFA from a Windows computer, such as a desktop or laptop. So you'll follow these steps each time you're prompted for authentication. So the first thing you need to do is we'll show you how to log in and what the prompt that appears. So in this case, we're just logging into the intranet and you'll sign in with your S number and your password. At this point, you're being asked to authenticate, and you need to be able to authenticate from the Ping ID which is installed on your computer. So to find that Ping ID or the application so you can see your code, you need to go down to your Windows ID in the bottom left. Search for the Ping ID, click it to open, and it will appear with the code you need to paste in to authenticate. When you see it, you click copy, and then paste it into the authentication window behind it. Sign on, and that's authenticated. So once you paste the code and press sign on, you've now authenticated the browsing session for the next 12 hours for any applications you need to access from that browser. We're going to look at how to add or remove a device from MFA. You may need to do that if you lose your mobile phone and purchase a new one. If you're at home and want to add your laptop as a MFA enabled device. So we'll have a look at how to do that now. So let's log into the intranet. At the moment, my primary device is my mobile device. Therefore, whenever I try to do anything, it's going to ask me to authenticate from there. And I'll put the screen up so you can see what's happening with that. So let's log into the intranet. When you log in, you're going to go into settings. So we'll go S18283. You're using a password like you normally would. Log in and then look for the settings option down the bottom of the page. So I click that. Now this is taking me to the MFA section that shows me all the devices I've got. At the moment, I've got an iPhone set up and a desktop Windows. Over on the right-hand side, it's telling me that my iPhone's my primary device. The other options I've got here is on the right-hand section is you can actually delete devices if you don't need them, or change the name over here so that this could say iPhone Nikki. So let's have a look at how you actually add a device. So if I click add, it's going to ask to authenticate on my phone. So I'll click continue. I'll just move it up so you can see it. Touch my ID to authenticate. Okay, so if I was to add to another device now, I would then hold my phone up with my Ping ID app on, and that would be authenticated that it's actually me that's getting in there adding or removing devices. We won't do that today, but just to show you that you add it, authenticate it, that's you, and that gets you up and running. The other thing I want to show you here is if you click on the right-hand side beside any of these devices, as I said before, you get the option to delete, or alternatively to change the name. So I could change my iPhone to Nikki Private and save. So this is a section where you add, delete devices, change names, or change which is your primary device. The other thing we wanted to go through was the FAQs, or the commonly asked questions that we've had experience before. The first one is how many times a day do I need to log in using MFA? So each time you log into MFA, it lasts for 12 hours. So you need to log in only once a day. Secondly, what happens if I do not have my device with me? Call our IT service centre on 55555 and they'll organise access for you. Another query I had usually from academics or staff that are travelling overseas is that their mobile doesn't work in certain areas, and we also have people that may not own a mobile phone at all. So for those people, you need to apply for a YubiKey, and to do that, you do it on the web page where you can request a YubiKey, and you have to meet certain criteria for approval. Next thing we're going to have a look at is the support options available. Firstly, there's the MFA web page where we had a look just before. Secondly, you can contact the IT service centre by calling them on 55555, and they will direct you through to the right group to help you out depending on what your query is. And finally, if you've got feedback or general queries that you need the project team to answer them, please feel free to email us at multifactor-auth@griffith.edu.au, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.